So part two, difference between the United States and Northern Europe and other countries like Australia, England, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and France. Yep, those are the countries. Nudity. I'll continue with that. Again, oh yeah, the Germans and the Europeans are more comfortable with the naked body and porn and sex, yet it's just cold and yeah. I mean, like I said before, went on a platform with a woman who was from Norway. Tried to ask a trivial question, and it's like I just spit in her face, or I was a rapist or something. Similar thing with the Germans. If you're not a German, or if you're not Norwegian, you're not part of their master race. You go fuck yourself. That's, or maybe they just hate Americans. I don't think they just hate Americans. Because I've heard this from other people, from people from Italy, that they just if they don't know you, they won't talk to you. Very, very unfriendly people. Um, Maybe this is left over from the Nazis. I don't know. I don't mean it as a slam. I'm just wondering. Maybe it is left over from the no small talk. That was my next one. Yeah, they don't. Nothing. I mean, even asking about your family. Hey, you got any kids? Why don't you go fuck yourself? Yet they're open about sex and porn and nudity. But again, it seems like it's sterile and cold if it's not leading towards, procreation, children, love, intimacy. So yeah, that I don't get. Small children travel without guardians. I've seen this. It's probably because these countries are monoracial, monocultural. There's no diversity. There is now, um, in somewhere like Sweden, where Sweden is a country of self-hating whites, where they had no rapes, and then they welcome in a massive amount of Sunni extremists, and rape and murder shot up. I mean, like 700 rapes within a year. So that's probably stopped recently. Um, but yeah, children traveling wherever they want to go. Yeah, it reminds me. There was a guy named Mark Detrue, who was kidnapping and raping kids and murdering girls. And this has always happened in Europe. So again, maybe this is the fact that they don't value family and they don't care if their kids die. Again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to provoke things like get answers. Um, Prostitution is legal. I think this ties in with the fact that sex and nudity is just, there's nothing intimate about it. It's just it's just two pieces of flesh doing something. Um, Again, I think prostitution should be illegal, personally. But they're oh yeah, the other thing, sex, no big deal. Again, this baffles me. It's probably because they're not family oriented. This is why I think I get along more with Latin Americans, Italians. Well, Brazil is part of Latin America. The Irish Catholic neighborhoods in the United States, because sex means something. Family is very important, but Northern Europeans are not family oriented whatsoever. Um, Safe sex. Now, I had heard Americans say that the only safe sex education they got in school was abstinence. Abstinence is the only way to be 100% safe. Factually, that's true. I went to Chicago public schools, and we were taught all this stuff about safe sex, and condoms. And this was in the 90s, and that AIDS, anybody could get AIDS. And now, decades later, HIV/AIDS still remains in the black and homosexual population. It's still in its original risk groups. So it led to me and a lot of my friends not believing that HIV/AIDS existed. And I know many people who died because we were lied to. That's just it. And sex education, if you lie to kids enough, they're not going to believe anything. But yeah, abstinence really is the only way to not catch a STD or get pregnant. I mean, sorry. Although I don't believe in abstinence, I think abstinence is terrible. I believe sex is good. I believe childbirth is good, and I believe families are good. So have as many children as you possibly can. But again, I think this conflicts with a lot of what I've noticed about Europe. Talking to strangers. See, I wrote this down again. Not talking to strangers. Talking to strangers. Again, I'll repeat this for the 5th time. If you talk to a stranger in Germany or Norway, you might as well have taken your cock out and pissed right in their eyes. You are the Undermensch. They're the Ubermensch. Why are you talking to me, you filthy non-white? I mean, that's really how it is. Like, they think you're a creep if you just, you kind of nervous, you're a foreigner in a different land. Hey, do you know if there's any good museums around here? And they'll like sidestep away or be like, oh yeah, haha, and no help whatsoever. If a German asks that in the United States, hey, yeah, sure, I'll show you around, I'll be helpful to you. Germans and Northern Europeans are not helpful people. They might have sex with you, but it'll probably be like having sex with a dead body. I don't know. Please, somebody shed some light on this. What did I write down here? At a party, you don't talk about superficial stuff. You talk about politics and religion. In the U.S., you don't talk about politics or religion. That's not really true in the United States. But politics and religion, huh? Those are two things that can get very heated. So that's why people kind of steer clear of them and maybe talk about the weather. Reason why people steer clear of politics here is because the left gets very vocal and will accuse you of being a misogynist, a racist, a rapist, a baby killer. So usually you can only talk to people on the right, and it be a civil conversation. As for religion, you'll always get an evangelical or an atheist. The atheists have become the new fundamentalists, and they'll just argue and bitch and complain. They won't let you be. That's why it's better to be around Roman Catholics, Eastern Orthodox, Zoroastrians, or Reformed or conservative Jews. But as for the atheists or the fundamentalist evangelicals, you're screwed, because they're just gonna berate you because you don't believe exactly what they believe. But Europe, with politics, yeah, you can't be open about politics in Europe. You know why? Because, again, none of those countries are free. Say you're a nationalist or a national socialist in any of those countries, you'll be locked up. Or say you're a communist, some of those places you'll get locked up there too. Or hey, say, oh yeah, I voted for Trump, or I voted for George Bush. You'll get screamed at by some other tourist who's French. So I don't buy that. That's something that I heard somebody say on YouTube about. It's more open. Asking how much money do you make? How much money do you earn? Um, and that not being rude. I don't know if I have much to say on that. I mean, it is, I guess, kind of rude. Um, because I think the implication is seeing who makes more money, me or you, type of thing. I think the most important thing is as long as you provide for your family, it shouldn't matter. And as long as you work hard. Um, how much did it cost? That seems like a fine question. What religion are you? Um, well, mother was a Catholic, father was Muslim, and I converted to Eastern Orthodoxy. Ice cubes. Ice cubes are awesome, and it pisses me off when people from Europe come over and complain the fact that we have ice in our drinks. Just ask for no ice, or 90% of the time, the soda fountain's right there. You don't have to add ice. But yeah.